The Denver Phoenix series was dominated by Nikola Jokic, the Joker. My name is Rotimi. I talk all things basketball. I love basketball, and I hope one day you could also share that love with me. Going into this series, both teams looked very evenly matched and were performing very well. The Denver Nuggets had Nikola Jokic, who was looking unstoppable, and the Phoenix Suns had Devin Booker, who was playing like prime time Kobe. However, very, very quickly, things looked one sided. As mentioned already, the playoff series is a 7 game series. The first two games are home at the team with a better record. The next two go to the other team. Now, if the series isn't decided in the first 4 games, then the fifth game goes back to the team with a better record, and the sixth game goes to the team with the lesser record, and then the seventh game will be played at the team with a better record. In this case, the team with a better record were the Denver Nuggets, and the team with the worst record were the Phoenix Suns. The first 2 home games were played at Denver. Now, Denver are actually known to have the best home court advantage in the NBA. They have a higher altitude stadium, which makes it extremely hard to breathe, and multiple NBA players, old and new, will always complain about playing in Denver and saying it's the worst. Quick backstory: after the trade in February, the Suns looked like the best team on the market. They looked like the team that was going to win it all. Many had them as their favorites to go to the NBA Finals, and even more had them to win the chip completely. Boy, were they wrong. The Denver Nuggets had the MVP Nikola Jokic, who absolutely bullied them through the whole series. He averaged 32 points, 12 rebounds, and I believe 10 assists on a true shooting percentage of 66. True shooting takes into account um, the difficulty of every single shot. So a layup, an average 2 point mid range shot, and also the 3 point line. And then basically says, how well are you actually shooting from each one of those distances? Now, the best, I think, true shooting percentage is recorded at 67.5. The whole series, he bullied them. He was playing chess, they were playing checkers. They tried to double team him and put 2 men on him. It didn't matter. The open man was always open, and he found that man. They tried to adjust, and he made adjustments to their adjustments. Nikola Jokic at 7 foot, a big man, unathletic, was beating them with pure skill and basketball IQ. It was ridiculous. Now, the first 2 games definitely showed that. You saw that in the first 2 games. First 2 games, Nuggets won by first game 125 to 107. The second game, 97 to 87. The Suns tried to make adjustments. Now, they did make adjustments, and those adjustments were simply they had to make tough shots. Kevin Durant had to make tough shots. Devin Booker had to make tough shots. Now, Devin Booker was playing well throughout this whole series. I'd be wrong if I said that he wasn't playing. Devin Booker averaged 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists. Now, Devin Booker was playing well. He was scoring at a clip no one had ever seen before. That Kobe that he was in the Clippers series, he was the same Kobe in this series. He was playing unstoppable. We got to game 3, and that kicked in. But not only was he scoring, but Kevin Durant was scoring. They combined for 86 points in game 3, which basically tipped them over the edge to win it. They win that game, 121-114. They also won game 4. Game 4, Nikola Jokic had 53 points. He went ham. He had an amazing game. And next thing you know, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker each scored 36 on an efficient clip. Shamet came off the bench for the Suns as well and put them over the edge. So they were able to walk away from that game, and they evened the series at 2-2. They thought these adjustments were enough, but these adjustments weren't. Oh, to also note, they had to play even better in game 3 and 4 because at the end of game 2, CP3, Chris Paul, the old man of the team, he pulled his groin, and he was a key contributor to their offense. He was the point guard. He slowed down the tempo. He found where the open man was. But it seemed like they didn't need him in game 3 and 4. They were making tough shots. They were playing at a faster pace. They were getting more shots. It looked like this was going to be a more even series than we thought it was going to be. Boy, were they wrong. Game 5 and Game 6 were won by Nikola Jokic again. Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets went home with the victory and cleared the series, won the series 4-2. Now, what did that show me? I I'll admit that. I will admit it. I was not a believer in the Nikola Jokic train. I understood that he was an amazing player. I could see that you know, he could really manipulate an offense. He could really break things down on ball, off ball. And as I think he's the best passer in the league. I saw all of this, but I still looked at him. I said, "Look, he's unathletic. He doesn't move very quick on his feet. He's going to struggle on the defensive end. Teams are probably going to ISO him." No, no, no. Mike Malone and the coaching staff did an amazing job of utilizing Nikola Jokic in the best way possible. They made sure that anytime they forced, first of all, the Phoenix Suns to make mid-range shots because they're not used to really farming three-point shots. They knew that the team were going to they were going to go for mid-range shots. So what they decided to do was always have two defenders on one of those players at the same time. As soon as they entered that zone, there was always two hands in the way to contest the shot at every single time. Now, you can continue to try and make difficult shots. You're just definitely not going to score them on an efficient enough percentage. Kevin Durant, who many considered to be unguardable, last year was shown that it was shown to everyone that he was not unguardable. Making those tough shots, if you play good enough defense, you can make him shoot at an inefficient clip. And now that was kind of shown during this, that was shown during this series. They really tried to put the pressure on him to make the difficult shots, and we didn't see a big game from him. I think the most he did score was 36 in the game four performance. They tried to get them to use other stars. They tried to get them to find their role players on their teams to shoot, and that's why Shamet had a great game in game four. Now, Mike Malone's strategy on the defensive end really helped the Nuggets, and the proof is in the pudding when you look at the offensive rating of the league. So the offensive rating is if you were to run 100 possessions, how many in a game, how many points would a team score? So going into that series, the Phoenix Suns had an offensive rating of 125. Coming out, they had an offensive rating of 114. So a team that we didn't think were, or had a defensive liability, who we thought would be exploited, you know, they performed very well. This if don't know if you got it already, but this was not a Phoenix Suns not playing well. This was very well. This was very much on the Denver Nuggets playing great defense and having an amazing offense. Their role players really did turn up. Bruce Brown was doing a madness on both offensive and the defensive side of the board of the ball, and he was coming off the bench. He had multiple 10-plus point games in this series, you know, and we're talking about a smaller guard with quick hands. He was taking on, Kevin Durant. He was guarding Devin Booker the whole series. Both of those players, anytime he came on, he gave it his all. And we like the hustle players. The hustle players, they're the people who win and lose games for teams. Jamal Murray, offensive weapon. He'd been injured last year, and he came out to show everyone. He really wanted to show everyone that the COVID year was not a fluke. He came out, scored 24 points. He had 6 assists, and his two-man game with Jokic was unstoppable. KCP is known to be a 3-and-D player. Their job is only to play defense and shoot 3-point shots. Now, KCP, I always saw as an inconsistent 3-and-D player, but he really turned up. I mean, he won them some games. He won them games that he had a good game in game 2. He had an amazing game in game 6 to close out the series. Talking about the Phoenix Suns weren't deep enough. They traded so much away, key pieces in that February trade. Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges being the main two who were 3-and-D players. They didn't have the defensive options. They were, if you ask me, strength-wise, they were kind of weak. You had a Cameron Payne at the point guard position who was going to definitely struggle through the screens when it came to Nikola Jokic. Jokic was the best screen assist guy in the league going into the playoffs, which meant he sets amazing screens. And Cam Payne was just never going to navigate through those screens, full stop. There was also some frustration in the locker room with DeAndre Ayton. Even when he was playing, I guess he wanted more touches. There was frustrations between him and Booker. He had a tough enough job guarding Nikola Jokic. I just think he didn't really want to hear it. I don't know if he's really there for the team, or I don't know if he's really there for the team or not. CP3 came up injured. When you're pushing your body to the limits 24/7, it may break down. CP3 is aging, and that's probably likely to happen every now and then. However, there have been too many occasions where they get to the final, where he's on a team and they get to a final stage and he gets injured. He doesn't play well, and that leads the team to their ultimate demise at the end of it. Tim McMahon from, I think I said it right, from ESPN, who is an NBA insider, said that the Phoenix Suns are shopping CP3 and DeAndre Ayton aggressively come the offseason. So the Phoenix Suns are probably going to most likely make some changes to their team. If the Phoenix Suns do everything right, I do think they're still going to be contenders next year. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker on your team. You have two of the best scorers in the game currently are still going to be there playing out of their minds and may be able to produce for the Suns if they have the right pieces around them. The Denver Nuggets are the story. The Denver Nuggets have, in my opinion, I think they've shocked. I think they've shocked me. Um, I didn't expect them to dominate. I thought they could win, but I did not expect them to dominate. Nikola Jokic is ridiculous. I love people that can pass the ball. And when I mean pass, not just pass it to the guy on your right, but make the right passes. Kind of trick the defense into thinking you're going to do one thing, and making the pass no one saw. Not only that, but I love that when he's in the post, he can bully anyone. He doesn't even take. He doesn't mess about. If he's got a smaller guy on him, a weaker guy, he's gonna back him down in the post, and he's gonna do. He's not even gonna do that fancy footwork. He's just gonna put the ball up. And even if you're a bigger defender, he'll use the fancy footwork. He has a one-legged fadeaway shot. There's so much to his game that I absolutely love, and I think he's really shaping out to be a great player, one of the greatest players the game's ever seen. The next video will be on the Lakers and the Warriors. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. That will be amazing if you want to hear more content from me. Not only that, but I really want to hear your comments down below on thoughts about the games and anything else that you might want me to have a little conversation about or talk about. I'm definitely open to it.